Dating can be an intimidating experience for many men. You might spend weeks swiping on apps, hours strategizing how to approach someone in person, or even years refining your social skills to increase your chances of securing a date. Yet, despite all this effort, many men end up sabotaging their first date without realizing it. In this guide, we'll explore the common mistakes men make, why they happen, and how to avoid them to create meaningful connections. The first date, a unique opportunity. Let's start with an important perspective shift. When a woman agrees to go on a date with you, she's already showing more interest than disinterest. By accepting your invitation, she's demonstrating a willingness to explore the possibility of something more. However, it's crucial to understand that this initial interest is based on limited information, often just surface-level impressions or brief interactions. The fantasy effect. Before the date even begins, it's essential to understand why she said yes. Most of the time, her interest is less about who you truly are and more about the idea of you that she's constructed in her mind. This idea is based on the way you presented yourself when you met or through your online profile. It's a mental projection filled with her hopes and fantasies. This dynamic is both a blessing and a challenge. On one hand, her imagination has already done some of the heavy lifting, creating a narrative about why you might be a great match. On the other, the more you reveal about yourself during the date, the more likely it is that this fantasy will be disrupted, especially if your reality doesn't align with her expectations. The common mistake: over-talking. The biggest way men sabotage first dates is by talking too much about themselves. Many men fall into this trap because they believe they need to prove their worth. They might feel compelled to share their accomplishments, wealth, or social status, thinking this will make them more appealing. While the idea of showcasing your value isn't entirely wrong, the execution often misses the mark. Talking excessively about yourself can come across as boastful or self-centered. Worse, it leaves little room for the woman to express herself or feel truly seen. Why trying to impress backfires? When you try too hard to impress someone, you inadvertently reveal more about yourself than you might intend. Every detail you share chips away at the fantasy she has of you. The more specific you get, the less room there is for her imagination. This isn't to say you should lie or hide who you are, but rather that you should let her discover you gradually. Think of it like unwrapping a gift. Part of the excitement is in the anticipation. If everything about you is laid bare within the first hour, the mystery and her interest can quickly dissipate. What to do instead? Focus on her. A successful first date isn't about impressing her with your resume. It's about creating a memorable experience. The best way to do this is by making her the focal point of the conversation. People love talking about themselves, and when you give someone the opportunity to share their thoughts, dreams, and feelings, they'll often walk away feeling a deeper connection. Here's how to do it effectively. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of asking questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no, ask questions that encourage her to elaborate. For example, instead of, "Do you like your job?" try, "What do you enjoy most about your work?" Listen actively, pay attention to what she says, and respond thoughtfully. This shows that you're genuinely interested and engaged. Follow up. Build on what she shares by asking deeper questions. If she mentions a hobby, ask how she got into it or what she enjoys most about it. By focusing on her, you not only keep the conversation flowing, but also create an environment where she feels valued and understood. The power of emotion. One of the keys to a successful first date is making her feel something. This doesn't mean putting on a performance or trying to manufacture emotions, but rather creating moments that resonate on a deeper level. Here are some ways to tap into emotional connection. Share thoughtful observations. If she mentions something she's passionate about, acknowledge it. For example, you light up when you talk about painting. It's clear it means a lot to you. Create shared experiences. Doing something together, even as simple as laughing at a joke or sharing a unique dish, can create a sense of connection. Show genuine curiosity. Ask questions that reveal her values, aspirations, and quirks. These are often the things that make people feel truly seen. Balance is key. While it's important to let her do most of the talking, this doesn't mean you should become a silent observer. Share enough about yourself to keep the conversation dynamic, but focus on brevity and relevance. When she asks you questions, answer honestly but concisely, then redirect the conversation back to her. For example, what do you do for work? I work in marketing and I love how creative it allows me to be. What about you? What drew you to your field? This approach keeps the spotlight on her while giving her a glimpse of who you are. Avoiding the job interview trap. First dates can sometimes feel like a job interview, with both parties firing off a series of factual questions. While it's natural to want to learn more about each other, this approach can feel sterile and unengaging. Instead, aim for a more conversational tone. For example, instead of "where did you go to school?" try "what's the most interesting thing you studied?" Instead of "what do you do for fun?" try "what's something you've done recently that you really enjoyed?" By framing questions in a more open and personal way, you create opportunities for richer, more meaningful dialogue. Timing is everything. First dates are as much about pacing as they are about content. Revealing too much about yourself too quickly can overwhelm the other person and leave little to discover in future interactions. Conversely, being too guarded can come across as disinterest or aloofness. The goal is to strike a balance, sharing enough to pique her curiosity while leaving room for future conversations. Think of it as planting seeds rather than laying out the entire garden. The role of nonverbal communication. Your words are only part of the equation. Nonverbal cues, such as eye contact, body language, and tone of voice, play a significant role in how you're perceived. Here are some tips for effective nonverbal communication. Maintain eye contact. This shows that you're engaged and interested. Smile naturally. A genuine smile can help put both of you at ease. Be mindful of your posture. Sit up straight and lean slightly forward to show attentiveness. Mirror her energy. If she's animated and enthusiastic, match her energy. If she's more reserved, adopt a calm and steady demeanor. Why this isn't about trickery. Some men might feel that this approach is manipulative or inauthentic. However, it's important to recognize that everyone, regardless of gender, puts their best foot forward on a first date. Women often spend time on their appearance or choose outfits that highlight their best features. Men, similarly, should focus on showcasing their best qualities in a way that feels natural and genuine. This isn't about deception, it's about creating an environment where both parties can show up as their best selves and explore the possibility of a connection. Final thoughts. The first date is an opportunity to lay the foundation for a potential relationship. By avoiding common pitfalls, like talking too much about yourself or trying too hard to impress, you can create a more engaging and memorable experience. Remember, the goal isn't to win the date, but to create an environment where mutual curiosity and attraction can flourish. By focusing on her, listening actively, and pacing the conversation, you significantly increase your chances of leaving a positive impression and securing a second date.